Hello everyone, this is part 24 of What If Naruto Passed the Genin test, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Be sure to like and subscribe, it gives me more motivation. Enjoy. Naruto looked at Lee, who was standing right next to him, and smiled. Lee returned the smile before jumping from the railing. Naruto was about to do the same but was stopped. Sakura, wait a minute Naruto. Are you sure you're up for this? The last time you guys fought, he gave both you and Sasuke a hard time, and now you're in worse shape. Naruto, don't worry, Sakura, I feel fine and I'm confident that I'm gonna win. He jumped down and met Lee in the center of the arena. Naruto, looks like it's finally here. It's my time to shine. Lee, I had hoped to face the remaining Sand Nin, but I am still happy that we get to continue our fight. Naruto, same here, and this time, no excuses. Hayate, the 7th match, Naruto Uzumaki vs. Rock Lee. Guy, hey, I feel sorry for your student Kakashi, he has to face Lee one-on-one. Though I'm sure that he is pretty good, as I've witnessed, he's no match for Lee. Kakashi, silence, did you say something? Guy, ooh, just like my eternal rival to be cool, calm, and collected. Kakashi, I had heard that this Lee kid had given both Naruto and Sasuke quite a run for their money. If that's so, then Naruto may need a miracle in order to win. Kiba, that guy Lee's got all the luck. Why couldn't I have been the one to face that little pipsqueak? Hinata, so, you think you could beat Naruto if it were you down there? Kiba, well yeah, I'm not trying to knock him and say that he's weak or anything, but, not too long ago he needed help just to make it to the tower entrance. Even if he's had time to recover, there's no way that he could pull out a win. Poor Naruto, the guy's got to be the unluckiest person on the planet. Hinata, I don't think that Naruto is that weak. Remember in the forest, how he saved us numerous times. He used a lot of chakra and was still able to keep going, though, he doesn't look to be in good condition right now. Third, so, it's finally Naruto's turn. I'm sure that he's been waiting for this opportunity to show what he could do. He's been training night and day since I gave him that new scroll. I wonder if he's learned anything from it and whether or not he's going to showcase it here. Hayate, begin. Naruto did look to be somewhat out of it as he didn't even seem to respond. Lee. Naruto. Are you okay? You do not look well, maybe you should forfeit now so that you do not get hurt. Naruto, don't worry, I feel just fine, you should be more worried about yourself because I'm not holding back. Lee. Very well, I applaud your spirit and it will be my pleasure to defeat you. Lee took his stance with his left hand behind his back and his right out in front as if inviting the opponent to attack, which Naruto did. Naruto, get ready, cause here I come. Naruto led off with a slow punch which Lee simply sidestepped. Naruto continued with his slow attacks before Lee finally threw a punch of his own. Naruto was easily toppled and he seemed to be struggling standing back up. Kankuro, hey, pathetic, and to think that I was actually worried about him before. Sakura, I knew it, his movement is very sluggish. There must be something wrong, he should give up while he can. Kakashi, he probably should, but you know Naruto, he's extremely stubborn. Giving up probably hasn't crossed his mind since he applied for this exam. It's just the way he is. Lee, why don't you just give up Naruto? I understand your determination, but right now, you are faring much worse than I expected you to. Naruto, you'd like that, wouldn't you? Well, tough. I may not be at my best right now, but I just have to get my bearings. What's more, I don't care if I lose, but know this, it won't be an easy win on your part, and that's only if you win. Lee. Very well then Naruto, I shall not take it easy on you any longer. I will go all out. In one swift kick to the body, Lee sent Naruto crashing into a wall. Once again, and unbelievable to everyone else, he picked himself up. He shook the cobwebs from his brain and smiled. Naruto, I think that kick helped. I've been debating whether or not to go all out or to hold back. Now I realize, it would be a mistake to not give it my all against you, get ready. Slipping the sleeves off of his tail, cause now it's my turn. Once again Naruto charged, but this time he seemed to be moving a lot faster than he was before. When he got close enough, Lee intended to knock him back with another kick, but Naruto evaded it. He ducked under Lee's right roundhouse kick and delivered an elbow to Lee's back. Lee quickly turned to see a punch aimed for his face, so he picked up his guard. Blocking it on one side, Lee redirected Naruto's attack and delivered a punch to the abdomen, the chest, and a punch was intended for Naruto's face as well, but he blocked it with his left and reared back to deliver a devastating blow to Lee's face. As it connected, Lee stumbled back, but Naruto kept coming as the two kicked and punched with the other avoiding and evading. Neither could seem to gain any leeway as the fight dragged on. The two were showing excellent close quarters combat as one would attack and the other would defend. Lee attempted to punch Naruto in the gut, but it was caught by Naruto. Lee followed up with a punch to the head, but it too was blocked. Naruto saw an opening and shoved both hands, open-palmed, into Lee's abdomen, pushing him back. Lee slid back a few feet and looked at his opponent. Naruto had a look on his face that said that he was now completely serious. Lee was having a tough time with Naruto and he hadn't even been using ninjutsu. That's when he realized. Lee, I see. You plan on defeating me with nothing but taijutsu. You indeed are a formidable opponent, but you will not succeed. Naruto, I realized that also, and well, there's been a change in plans. If I continue on like this, I may not make it to the next round, so. Naruto crouched down and unraveled his tail from his waist. With one hand on the ground and one out to his side, Lee and anyone else who had seen him do this realized that it was the same move that he had been doing. Kankuro, here it goes again, hopefully he'll get to actually see it this time. I'll figure out his trick, and if he tries to use it on me I'll be ready. Lee. That stance. He was about to use it against me in our three-way match-up, but I did not get a chance to see it. Sakura, I've seen what he can do with this move when it comes to movement, but I still can't figure it out, if I watch closely this time. Intrigued, Neji activated his Byakugan. Neji, his chakra, its pace has quickened. His entire chakra system has gone into overdrive. Before everyone's eyes, Lee was knocked to the ground as if he were hit by something, but Naruto was still in the same spot. That's when they realized, he was no longer there but standing where Lee once was. Still in his place, however, was still an image. No one could figure out exactly what it was that Naruto was doing. Kakashi, that technique. Third. So I guess that second scroll I gave him was useful after all. Lee sat up with a look of bewilderment. He could see Naruto standing in front of him and in the distance another Naruto that began to fade away. Lee, I do not understand, how is it that you were standing over there, and then you are here while you are, or was still over there? Naruto, it's one of the new techniques I learned from a scroll my grandpa, the Hokage, gave me. The one I just used is called Shadow Star. Lee pulled himself to his feet once again and prepared for another attack. The tension mounted as they stood there, waiting for the right time to strike. As he waited, Lee tried to figure out how to counter Naruto's jutsu, but he blinked. As he opened his eyes he soon realized that he had made a mistake. There before him stood an image of Naruto ready to punch him, and the real one had just swept him off his feet. He was in the air with his legs higher than his head. If he were to land like this it would not be good for him. Luckily, and unfortunately, Naruto kicked him across the room in mid-hover. Once again Lee got to a vertical base, only to be knocked down again and again. Naruto was winning this fight if Lee wouldn't do something drastic. Since he could not clearly see Naruto's movements, he would improvise. As he could see that Naruto had made his next move, due to the clairvoyance of an image, Lee began to punch and kick wildly in hopes of landing at least one blow. Though Lee was doing this it still did not help. Naruto still found an opening and attacked. Naruto, feral fists. Lee felt what seemed to be a right to the head, a left to the body, another right to the head, followed by a sweep of his left leg, and a spinning heel kick by Naruto. He stumbled and struggled to keep himself on his feet but was met with a similar combination. This time he was set into a wall. He managed to pick himself up and made a hasty retreat to the top of the statuesque ninja hands. Sakura, why is Lee only using taijutsu? So far it isn't really working. The best thing for him to do is to use ninjutsu and keep Naruto at a distance, right? Guy. It's not that Lee doesn't use ninjutsu, he can't. Lee has almost no skill for ninjutsu or genjutsu. When I first met him, he was nothing. He had no talent at all. So the only techniques left for Lee as a ninja are taijutsu. Sakura, huh? But without the use of ninjutsu or genjutsu, how can he possibly? Guy. Lee. Take them off. Lee. But Guy-sensei, its use is only for a time when I must protect many precious people, isn't it? Guy. It's alright, I'll allow it. Immediately Lee pulled down his leg warmers to reveal weights and removed them. Lee. Alright, now I can move easier. Sakura, wait. There's no way that's gonna help. Lee dropped them from the statue and everyone watched as they crashed into the ground. Many jaws dropped the length from the rafters to the ground as the impact and the explosion surprised everyone. Guy. Lee. Go. Explode. Lee. Yes sir. Even more surprising was how Lee disappeared in an instant. Before anyone knew it, he had reappeared right behind Naruto. As Naruto turned around, Lee lunged forward and connected with a hard right to Naruto's face. Naruto was skipped across the room. He made his way to his feet only to be pummeled again and again. Guy. He can't use ninjutsu or genjutsu, that's why he spent all his time on taijutsu. He worked hard and concentrated everything on it. Hearing blows landing, even if he can't do any other jutsu he won't lose to anyone, he's a taijutsu specialist. Naruto was being knocked around the entire room as Lee continued his assault. One more good punch and Naruto crashed into a wall. He picked himself up and shot a smile at Lee. Lee. I see you are alright. It seems that we both are capable of taking a beating and continuing to fight the good fight. Naruto. Yeah, and I'm really starting to enjoy this, but I can't hold back anymore. Naruto began to remove his hoodie revealing a dark blue short-sleeved shirt. Everyone seemed to be baffled as he seemed to be struggling with it before finally getting it off. Kiba. What a goof, struggling with his jacket just made everything he's done up, till now a joke. Naruto dropped his hoodie and in a similar fashion to Lee's leg weights, it crashed into the ground. Once again, many of the spectators found their jaws hitting the ground. Kiba. What is with these two? Lee stood ready as Naruto took his familiar stance. In one bat of the eye, it appeared that Naruto had surrounded Lee. Upon further observation, Lee determined that they were in fact just images. They were, however, peculiar images as some appeared to be smiling, at least one was patting its butt, and the rest looked as if they were not taking the fight seriously. Taking in the sights of all the Naruto images, Lee was blindsided with a punch to the jaw. He turned in time to see the next one coming and avoided. The battle waged on all over the arena while everyone else could barely keep up. Ino. Wow, they're so fast that my eyes can't follow. Kurenai. Is this the same goofball I've heard so much about? Asuma. What did Kakashi do? Chuji. Looks like this isn't the same Naruto that we used to know. Shikamaru. I wouldn't go that far, he may be stronger than we remember, but he's still all over the place. Once they stopped moving around, everyone found him at the center of the arena all battered and bruised. Lee looked to have taken the worst of it and it looked like he was desperate. He looked to his sensei and nodded. Lee unwrapped the bandages on his wrists. Naruto knew what was coming and tried to avoid it at all costs, but it was no use, he was kicked into the air by Lee. The only problem was that Naruto wasn't soaring through the air. To solve this, Lee continued to kick until he had gotten Naruto to the desired height. Guy. Even the normal lotus is self-damaging. All these extra kicks are dangerous for Lee too. End it here, Lee. Lee. I am sorry Naruto, but this is the end. The bandages wrapped themselves around Naruto's body and Lee grabbed on tight. Kakashi. This is a bad situation, should I step in and save him, or should I just wait and see? The two began to rapidly spin and shot to the earth. Lee. Primary Lotus. Dust was kicked up and filled the entire arena. No one could see a thing and many began to worry. Kiba. Oh man. With that kind of impact, there's no way Naruto could have survived it. Hinata. What? You don't think he can't be. Sakura. Naruto. After a grueling match and a devastating maneuver, is the match over? X. The dust began to settle and everyone anxiously awaited the results. Was it all over? What is the fate of Lee and Naruto? Once it cleared, Lee could be seen in the middle of a giant crater, but there was no Naruto in sight. Lee looked exhausted as from the still clearing dust and fluttering ribbons of bandages emerged Naruto as if nothing had happened. Lee, I had no idea that you could do something like that, Naruto, you are truly amazing. Naruto, yeah, well, I had no choice. I had planned on saving it for some other time, but you forced my hand. Naruto crouched again as Lee barely stood to his feet. In an instant Lee was knocked down and all around. It was beginning to look bad for Lee as he couldn't mount any kind of offense, much less defense to save his life. Sakura, what's going on with Lee? On minute he's bouncing all over the place, and now he can barely move. Guy, the lotus is a double-edged sword. Kakashi, it's normally a forbidden technique. All that high-speed taijutsu puts a lot of strain on the body. Right now he's feeling so much pain he can barely move, right, Guy? Looking over at him. Sakura, but then, why is Naruto still capable of moving the way he is? Kakashi, probably because of the clans he hails from. The jutsu he is using is that of a clan that proclaims that they are stars that fell from the heavens. In actuality, they have a great understanding of stars themselves and base jutsu from them. The technique he is using is one in which the user's speed is greatly enhanced. Even so, he will eventually feel its effects. The question is, how long can his body hold out? Lee was hurtled through the air, but he managed to catch himself. He then jumped back up to his feet. Naruto, so, are you starting to feel better? Lee, I am. Naruto, so your quick movements are coming back, huh? That's good, because it wouldn't be much fun if it wasn't difficult. Naruto took out a few shurikens and threw them at Lee, who dodged them. Once more Naruto threw some shurikens and kunais to test Lee's speed. It seemed that he was rejuvenated. Now came the real test. Lee, Sensei is watching and smiling. Just from that I am revived, stronger, even stronger. Guy, now the tables will be turned, the lotus of the leaf blooms twice. Lee, though this battle of ours has been great, this will be the end of things one way or another. Kakashi, the lotus of the leaf blooms twice. No way, Guy. You. Guy, it's exactly what you think, Kakashi. Kakashi, then that Genin kid will, the 8 celestial inner body gates. Guy, yeah, he will open them, he had the ability. Kakashi, even if he had the ability, such dangerous techniques like that. The extreme lotus is one technique that shouldn't be taught. I have no interest in making you tell me what that kid means to you and your reasoning, but there are limits. Guy, what would you know about that boy? That kid has something precious that he would give up his life to prove. So I wanted to turn him into a man that could accomplish it, that's all. Kakashi, that extreme recovery is because he opened the heel gate. Looks at Guy, how many of the 8 celestial gates can that kid open? Guy, 5 gates. Kakashi, this isn't about hard work, that kid, he's a genius. Sakura, what is all this? What are these 8 celestial gates things? Guy, it's the limit removal that is done in preparation for going into the extreme lotus. In the inner coils of the body that flows through 8 spots, the 8 gates. These are constantly working to limit the amount of chakra that flows in the body. The lotus forcibly releases these restraints using chakra. It allows you to release tens of times more power than usual, even as the user's body destroys itself. For example, the primary lotus is done by opening just the first gate. You release the brain's restraints with the initial gate. Then with the heel gate you forcibly raise your stamina, then from opening the third gate, the gate of life, you enter into the extreme lotus. Sakura, no way, the primary lotus damages his body so much, anymore in heel. Kakashi, yes, this technique is truly a double-edged sword. Opening all of the gates is called the state of 8 celestial gates, and for a short period of time you will gain strength that can surpass a cage, but in exchange, you will definitely, Lee, Neji, Sasuke, Naruto, I cannot lose here. Guy Sensei, acknowledge it, this is the time I prove and protect my ninja way. The third gate, gate of life, open. Lee's skin turned reddish and his pupils disappeared. Kakashi, he's opened the gate of life, things are getting out of hand. Lee, and the fourth gate, gate of Paain, open. Haaaaaaaa. Naruto was horrified at what he saw. He knew that he would have no chance if he didn't act quickly. Lee gathered himself and quickly attacked, tearing up the ground as he went. In what seemed like an instant to the spectators, he had gotten to Naruto and kicked him into the air. Kakashi, fast. Kiba, what happened? Sakura, where are they? Shikamaru, above us, pointing upward. Chuji, but I can't see that Lee guy, where? Naruto was being said all about. No one could really see it, but they could see little ribbons of Naruto's shirt flutter to the ground after each sound of a crushing blow. Hinata, N.A., Naruto. Sakura, Narutoo. Naruto, man, he's really thrashing me, if I don't. Kakashi, his body can't take much more of this. Neji, this is Lee. But, since when did he? Lee looks at an astonished Neji. Neji, this technique was originally meant for defeating you, witness what it is that you have to look forward to. As Lee quickly moved in for the K, Naruto knew that it was now or never. Naruto, oh man, I hate doing this, I don't feel normal, but, Dragon King's reign. Kakashi, what? A bright flash of light pinpointed Naruto's location amidst the chaos as he narrowly avoided Lee's punch. The action came to a standstill as both landed on solid ground. When they did, Lee made a startling conclusion. Lee, those horns, that tail, that golden-colored chakra, it's the technique you used to evade my primary lotus. Naruto, yeah, I was desperate then, so I decided to use it, but just for a second, and now, if I want to win this thing, I have no choice but to use it again. Naruto lifted his head and, with his pupil-less eyes, Lee could see into his golden-colored eyes clearly. This was truly intimidating, and yet, Lee was feeling excited. Kakashi, did he say, Dragon King's reign? That technique. It spells trouble for Lee and even its user if he can't use it properly. I should really. Lee, I have enjoyed our match, Naruto, but this is the end. Fifth gate, gate of limit, open. Before anyone could blink, the two clashed, creating a wake of chaos. The force of the impacts of their collisions was devastating the entire place, and the action was much too fast to be followed. Naruto, Dragon's Dance, was all that anyone could make out. Naruto batted Lee from their airborne battle and towards the ground. There he quickly created a shadow clone that delivered a standing kick to Lee. As Lee soared through the air, two more clones followed up with two well-placed punches, one to the abdomen and one to the skull. Another then kneed Lee in the back and finally delivered three uppercuts which forcefully sent Lee into the air once again. Lee was barely conscious as he drifted among the debris and dust, but he, and everyone around, could hear a low, ferocious growl. It was coming from the ceiling where Naruto was planted. He crouched low to the ceiling and exploded at Lee. Naruto, I will win. Shooting star. A streak of light could be seen as Naruto collided with Lee and the two shot to the earth at break-end speeds. The impact of the crash created a large and deep crater in the ground that was soon filled with what was the ceiling. To everyone's horror, all the destruction and devastation caused by this match was now in the middle of the arena, burying its combatants. Everyone frantically panicked as they tried to quickly recover the boys. Naruto, hey, what's wrong with everyone? You act like there's something important under all that rubble. There on the statuesque ninja hands barely stood Naruto with Lee under his arm. Everyone was pleasantly surprised to see that the two were not crushed under the ceiling, but were confused as to how he had managed it. Naruto, how did I make it out? Well, it's simple really. After we crashed, I was still using my jutsu when I saw the ceiling crumbling, so I grabbed Bushy Brow and hightailed it. Kakashi, Shadow Star, Dragon's Reign, and Dragon's Dance. It looks like Naruto's been doing his best to learn jutsu from both parts. Third, I gave him that scroll so that, in a sense, he could know who he was and what he represented. I had hoped that he would learn from it, but I had no idea. Naruto slowly made his way down onto the pile of rubble as well and laid Lee to rest. Guy and a few medic nins rushed over to him. Hayate was about to declare him the winner when Lee arose. He had taken his familiar stance, but Guy soon revealed that he was unconscious. One of the medic nin approached Guy and asked to have a word. Medic nin, his condition doesn't appear to be too critical, but he has shattered bones, torn muscles, and he is breathing erratically. He will have a tough recovery, one that he will have to be extremely cautious with. Guy, just tell me, will he ever be able to return to action? Medic nin, if we do all we can and he takes it easy for a while, he may have a chance. I would advise that he no longer be a shinobi, but it's his decision. Guy. I see. Naruto. Bushier brow sensei, I'm sorry about all of this, but you shouldn't be upset because to me, Lee gave his best and proved that he's a great ninja. There's no way that this'll stop him. Even if I had lost, I would have been glad if it were to someone like him. That's why, if you get the chance, tell him I said, thanks. Because of him I was able to push my limits and reach a new level. Guy. Hey, sure thing kid, I'm sure he'd do the same if he could. Because of you he still has a goal that he has to really work to achieve. Guy followed the medic nins that collected Lee to the hospital, but as he did Naruto was clearly confused. Kakashi, you know, I heard about you and Sasuke's little scuffle with Lee, and with what Guy just said, I'm sure you're one of the ninjas Lee wants to surpass, and since you've still got a lot of room to grow, you'll always be one of the ways he'd measure his ability. If you continue to get stronger like you have and become a better ninja, then so will he and anyone else that you inspire to become strong like yourself. Naruto smiled as everyone made their way back up so that the prelims could continue. Before he did, however, Naruto slowly made his way to the side to retrieve his jacket. Sakura, what are you doing, Naruto? Naruto, I'll be up in a minute, I just got to get something, bending down. Sakura, here, let me get it, you should take it easy now. Sakura ran to pick up his jacket but could barely lift it off of the ground. Seeing her struggle, Naruto decided to get it himself. He grabbed it and tucked it under his arm as he headed upstairs. Sakura, he picked that thing up with one hand while I struggled to lift it. How heavy is that thing? How strong is Naruto to pick it up with one hand? And in the condition he's in. Naruto slowly made his way up the steps with Sakura right behind him. Sakura, I'm pretty strong myself but I still couldn't really pick it up. I guess it makes sense though, his muscles are bigger than mine, and his physique, wait a minute, what am I thinking? I like Sasuke and Naruto is only and will only be my friend, but that doesn't change the fact that he's got a nice body. Sakura wiped the little bit of drool that was beginning to seep from her mouth before anyone else noticed. That's when she saw Hinata trying to speak to Naruto. Hinata, Naruto, getting his attention. Kurenai, Hinata, well, I had no idea. Hinata had closed her eyes tight and was offering something to Naruto. Kurenai and Sakura explained to Naruto that it was medical cream that would help heal his wounds faster. He didn't quite understand why she was giving it to him instead of saving it for herself, but he took it anyway. Naruto, thanks Hinata, you're pretty nice you know. Hinata just stood there blushing as Naruto and Sakura made their way past. Though she was too embarrassed to show it, Hinata was elated that she could help Naruto and that he accepted it. Neji, you seem to be enjoying yourself, Lady Hinata. Naruto was using the medical cream he received from Hinata and was amazed at how well it worked. Kakashi, only he could heal as quickly, I'm always amazed by the power of the Ninetales, but I'm even more surprised by your power, Naruto. There's no doubt that the Ninetales' power has been working overtime to heal your wounds even during battle, but for him to be able to use the Shadow Star technique as many times as he did and still have enough energy to stand, not to mention he used Dragon King's Reign, a technique not all that different from the 8 Gates, after all of this and the fight he had to endure. He shouldn't be able to blink without feeling a little discomfort, and yet. Naruto walked over to the wall behind him with a smile on his face and sat against it. Sakura asked if there was something wrong and he said that he was fine. He even looked as if nothing were wrong. Kakashi would have to keep an eye on him, just in case. Kakashi, he doesn't seem to be in such bad shape after everything. My guess is that he's got the best of both clans. He's naturally tough because beast warriors tend to have a knack for taijutsu, meaning that he is physically fit, and with his other half in the equation, he has a great deal of chakra, even without the Ninetales. If he continues to develop the way he is, he may just rise through the ranks faster than I originally thought. Kiba, man, I guess it's a good thing I didn't have to fight Naruto after all then, but now I'm curious, who will I be fighting? Kurenai, well, of the other 5, who would you like to face? Kiba, if I had my pick, it'd probably be either Chuji or the sound guy, and the same for Hinata, the other 2 are bad news. Shino, so you wouldn't want to face Hinata even though she may just forfeit and allow you to advance without any effort. Kiba, of course not you idiot. I wouldn't want her to just give up without a fight, and if she decided to fight, Then I would think about quitting myself. You know as well as I do that Hinata is a lot tougher than she lets on. After a bit of discussion on the building's durability, Hayate announced that they would proceed with the next match. To everyone's surprise it was. Naruto pulls out an amazing win. What is the next match up? X. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.